Hello everyone, I'm Railcoon and welcome to another edition of the Community Spotlight. We've got a special show for you tonight. We didn't run a vote this week, and for those of you who are curious, we're going to do a preview for Frame Fatale. So we've got Natara here with us who's going to speedrun Final Fantasy IV No Credit Warp for us. This game didn't make it into the main Frame Fatale schedule, so we're like, hey, let's bring this game in. We'll have this run. Make sure you guys tune in on Sunday. It's going to be starting at noon Eastern for Frame Fatale. And it'll be a great time. But before we get started, just a few quick announcements to go over. There's going to be an episode of The Sprint tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. A lot of our VODs that haven't made it up onto our YouTube are going to be appearing in the next couple days. So if you've been looking for some of those VODs, make sure you head over to our YouTube and check those out. Frame Fatale is going to be running the 18th through the 22nd. It's going to be a real good time. Make sure you tune in. And Disability Month submissions are open. You can type !Disability Month in chat to see details there about how you can submit to participate in that. But Natara, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fabulous.
And we've got a Rivers here to help us commentate. Hello, Rivers.
Hi, how's it going, everybody?
So, we're doing Final Fantasy IV No Credit Warp, and I figured a good way to start this would be, why don't you explain what Credit Warp is and why we're not doing it?
Oh, we can definitely do that. So Credit Warp is actually very similar in setup to this No Credit Warp run, in which we use manipulations in the game, usually setting up our inventory in a very specific way in order to warp us places. But the Credit Warp takes us directly to the credits, but it has a 1 in 4 chance of actually allowing us to succeed. 3 out of 4 times it just goes, nah, you know what? You're not going to the credits, and it's literally rip run. Game is over. You have to start again from the beginning.
That's right, yeah. And it relies on arbitrary code execution. So this was discovered by myself, 086, and I want to say 2015 or 2016. And you just talk to this like random NPC in a junk zone, and it walks you right to the credits. But because it's so unreliable, very few people run the category, and no CW has tended to become kind of the easy category for it all.
You say exactly. Easy, but there's still some tricky stuff in this run, right?
Oh yeah, there's a ton of tricky stuff in this run. Natara is going to be manipulating experience. She's going to be manipulating her inventory so that she can go to the right places. She's going to be walking up and down stairs, folks, and that is very difficult in an RPG.
It is when you have to do it 63 times.
Natara, what else do you think you're worried about in this one?
Oh my gosh, a lot of it, just once we get to the big glitch at the end, a lot of the navigation within there is very tricky as well. Plus, there's a lot of really strict strategies that we want to do to really optimize some of the bosses in this run. So there is a lot of tech, and bar none, the hardest thing is the step routing. So I will only be doing it for the first half of the run, and then I'll be using a manipulation, which is going to help a lot for the glitch at the end, but means we're going to be on the game's rules for random encounters. So here's hoping it goes okay.
So about how far in does the big glitch happen?
About 2-ish hours in. By my splits, yeah, if everything goes well, about 2 hours in. So about 2:05 is about where it'll be. And once we hit the glitch, it's really wild from there. The game is pretty normal up until the glitch point, but once you hit the glitch point, it is just off the rails.
Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm ready to get started if you are. Natara, are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, why don't you give us a countdown then?
Will do. So 3, 2, 1, start. So I think the first thing we have to mention about this game is that it has an approximately 8-minute intro. So there's going to be actually a lot of time here to explain some more things, especially about what's going to be coming up, because there is a bunch of tech even at the beginning of this run.
That's right. So Natara has already started this game off by finding the correct seed to get an encounterless walk to the Mist Dragon. The way you do this is very complex, but basically involves powering off and resetting your console over and over again until you hit the exact right step and die in a battle so that you can then be respawned on the correct seed. Natara did this before we started. That's kind of the first big tech. What else we talk about in Tar? You want to talk about the GP glitch, the dupe glitch?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in our first boss battle, we are going to be rearranging our equipment in order to duplicate weapons and a shield. And that's in any of the SNES versions of this game. And we use it to get a lot of money very quickly. We want a lot of money so we don't have to worry about fighting encounters and making sure we have enough to spend. But one of the things that the big glitch at the end looks at is actually how much money we currently have. So there is some really precise money routing involved in this as well.
That's right. And I guess the third big thing will be we're going to be picking up a tent in Baron Castle. Will be kind of the only chest we'll go out of our way to pick up early on in this game. And the reason we're doing this is because we can clip over the entire town of Mist via a kind of half-step glitch that the developers didn't really account for. And Natara failed Raven skip, so she has to reset. No,
yeah, I gotta reset.
This
That's it. Run over.
This is fine.
So,
but anyway, the tent stuff, it's very important to skip over because we can go into Mist early. It has more mid-game, late-game weapons, armor that you would not normally get. And it's kind of a big key to the speedrun because a lot of the damage you're going to be doing early on for the first 50 minutes or so relies heavily on those kind of stolen from Mist items.
absolutely. It's a very different run without that skip. So yeah, we do a really big glitch super early, and it's a really cool glitch to see, and it makes it a bit hard to start off speedrunning with this game because it is quite a technical glitch. The misclip. Once you've learned it, it is relatively easy to do. But for someone just picking up a speedrun, it can be a little complicated. But we have so many guides set up with the community to give information on how to do that glitch and many of the other things that we do.
That's right. We've got a good community Discord, and I would also heavily recommend to anybody interested in learning the run to go to ff4.exoden.com. That is AEXODEN.com. And there's step routing guides. There's all sorts of cool stuff hanging out in there that you can check out. And maybe you can even follow on with Natara right here and see if you can keep up with her step route.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm actually using those right now as we speak. So they're super helpful. And he keeps that page up to date and makes sure the step routes keeps optimizing them to make them even better.
That's right. So the beginning of this game, if you've never played it before, kind of the basic story is that our main character, Cecil, has some misgivings about what he's being asked to do to gather crystals to harm innocent people. And he's kind of going through this emotional crisis. He gets dismissed from his command of the Red Wings, which is the only airship force in the world, because obviously, why would there be a second one? And from then on, he kind of has to come to grips with the fact that he's been dismissed, and he's going to do this errand for the king, where he goes to the Mist Village with his pal Kane.
Yeah, they become essentially delivery people, and they're just like, wow, I was in charge of this armada, and now I deliver mail.
Yeah, old versions of this game called this key item the package. In newer version, I think it's called like the bomb ring or the signet ring or something that actually kind of tells you, hey, by the way, this isn't like a normal package. I guess the 1991 was kind of like an edgy start. Like, you kind of got blindsided by the fact that you were going to kill some innocent people. Oops, spoilers.
Yeah, also, there are so many glitches in this run. This run is in no way glitch-free. We have set up a manipulation already. In fact, I am going to be taking a step off of a chair, which is super important.
That's right. That is the one step. If Natara did not take that step, she would get an encounter right outside of Baron Castle on her first step. Thankfully, because she takes it, she does not get an encounter all the way through the first section of the game until she resets. After
Yeah,
Mist Dragon.
Final Fantasy IV is a bit unique in that where you have to watch your step route and where you don't. So insides of towns, you're safe to walk however, but in, the world map and in caves, and surprisingly, inside of castles, but only inside of castles does the step route count. But certain pieces of furniture in the castles don't count for steps. So we take advantage of those in multiple spots so we can get those optional steps to make sure we get as few encounters as possible.
Yeah, within castles, it's even inconsistent to begin with. It's kind of like, by the way, rugs count for some reason, or rugs don't count, but tiles count. It's very oddly designed.
Yeah.
Obviously, people are talking in the chat about glitchless. There isn't a glitchless category that really gets run for this version of the game. It's something that happens for FF4JP, but mostly also right now I think PSP. PSP has a good glitchless speedrun as well.
Yeah, and if you've never played this game casually, PSP is the version I tend to recommend to people. It's the one which is the most true to the original, but it does have an update in the graphics, so it looks really excellent. So it is something you can try out. It does come with the sequel After Years, if that's something that interests you. Not always so interesting to most people, but it's definitely good. Wow, that is some thunder at my house.
See, I think the good thing about the After Years is that if you just stop playing at the final chapter, then everything's fine.
Yeah, that is very true.
Everything's fine. It's all good. It's a really nice game. Yeah, as people are saying in the chat, the PSP is definitely a recommended casual version of this game. FF4JP, we don't really get a whole lot of their runs here. It's not a super active community. At the same time, kind of one of the big differences between them and why there's not really a competitive glitchless category for this game is because a lot of the items that were in the JP version got nerfed or otherwise taken out because in 1991, Square didn't think that American people could really handle such complicated items, as like a bomb that sets off and casts fire on everybody. Couldn't handle it. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that.
Yeah. Also, though, why did the monsters keep increasing?
Because Couch didn't. No, he did sub 2. Who's left? Because Natar didn't sub 2.
Oh no, yeah, we joke in the community because that question always comes up. We always have different reasons as to why the monsters keep increasing. So yeah, had I not taken that one step in that room, I would have gotten an encounter, or will get an encounter, the instant I leave the castle. But thankfully, I did. So if I have set everything up correctly, there should be no encounters until after the miss clip.
We're a very meme-heavy community here in FF4.
There's a lot of memes. So many memes. Okay, we're gonna have a nice calm walk through this really mysterious foggy cave, but don't worry, there's no problems. It's empty.
Yes, completely. There's no way that the village that you're sent to destroy. Oh, spoilers. There's no way they would send anybody to try to stop you. That's for sure.
Nope. Well, they definitely didn't put other monsters in here.
Yeah, we're just building tension right now.
Yeah, exactly.
How'd you feel with the tension?
So much tension.
Yeah, this isn't actually a lot of fun to watch, I'm sure, but I mean, like, you see that there's a lot of complexity into avoiding these encounters because encounters are the hardest thing for time in this game. So the D-Mist fight, Natara's taking on now. That is the first boss of the game. There's a lot of audio cues to this fight, so I'm going to be a little bit quiet once we get near them, but basically nothing you can do will actually kill D-Mist unless you get like 5 crits before it turns to mist the first time. So we're going to take advantage of that and start our dupe witch while D-Mist is transformed.
Oh. Take that. Okay, we're being quiet for my audio cue, but I got it, so.
Sweet! So you see Natara will pull up on that inventory, and eventually she will pull something else down into that empty spot that kind of like scooted over a little bit. If you look at it fast, you don't really notice, but it is very evident if you slow it down. And at that point, we have created what we call like a dupe hand, so to speak. And using Kane's Iron Shield here, eventually that shield will, that spot in our inventory will end up being something like 64,000 shields.
Yeah, it's going to turn into a lot. Now, I'm doing a safety save here because we want to make sure everything goes great for this marathon setting, because there is a lot that can go wrong here. Come on. There we go. Oh, no. Like leaving that early. Don't do that. Okay. Okay, first step. We did some equipping. We used a tent here. The key part of that is that I went into the menu while I spun on the spot. Now let's see if we can get part 2. Part 2, easy every time.
So yeah, you can see that before she reset, Natara took another step there and stepped onto the other side of Mist. Because of hit detection in this game, it never really registers when you're on top of a town that you can go back into the town until you're off of it. So that's how we kind of step over here. You're going to see she goes to the shop and buys dancing daggers. This is going to turn after she sells things, obviously.
After I sell a stack of nothing for about 3 million gil.
Yeah, dancing daggers are kind of the big damage dealers for the next 45 minutes of the run. And she's going to stop in here and pick up a tiara in Rydia's house that she will put on Rydia. And the tiara is kind of her ultimate defensive headgear in the game, available, 15 minutes in, super easy, as well as the change rod, which will also boost magic for some of our characters later on in the game.
Yeah, it's getting access to this really cannot be overstated. We just get such good gear between the things we're looting now and those dancing daggers. They're going to carry us a long way. Also, don't worry about a person there. They're having a nap. It's a sunny day. It's what you do.
Yeah, they're just basking in the sun. It's nice.
Exactly. It's summer.
I'm sunbathing.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't feel bad about this town. We have sold so many iron shields to them that I'm sure they'll find a way to build a new town out of iron shields. So don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
They'll be safe from future bomb attacks.
Just use them instead of bricks,
Exactly.
I would bet that you could build a pretty good town with 64,000 iron shields. Not a great town, but a pretty good town.
Yeah, absolutely. So it turns out that dragon we killed, unfortunately, it was the summon of the woman there. And if you kill a summoner's summon, they die too. So this little girl is her daughter and is really quite upset with us now that we've also lit her town on fire.
Gee, I don't know why. It seems like
we're
being very nice. So plot-wise, at this point, of course, the town kind of creates a new mountain range, this Titan summon, canonically, and so that's there for the rest of the game. That's why getting into Mist early is so important. And we wind up on the other side. It's just Cecil and Rydia. All of a sudden, he's all alone. He's isolated from everybody else that he used to know in his former life. And so now he's like, I guess all I got's this girl. I better find an inn or something.
Yeah, and this is actually a really important part because it's where I'm going to try and attempt to find my step route. Oh. I think that was the step.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, good. Not working. Thank you, guide.
It's been so long since I actually done this. I don't even remember what's happening.
It's good. We're bringing Rydia to the inn now.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm just a washed up rando runner now. But yeah, Accident has a chart of this, so I'm sure Natara is keeping track of it all, and we're in a good spot.
I assume that's based on what step you get the encounter and which enemy formation you get.
Mostly the step for twin seeds, which hopefully I will not get on this. The encounter matters, but we're looking at the specific set and step, and Accident has this amazing guide where you just click on the steps and it'll tell you what your seed is. It's brilliant. Anyways, I'm going to focus up for a sec here.
So this fight with the guards that come to kind of take Cecil and Rydia away is the first introduction to run buffering. You're going to see that Natara will run and then attack. When you pop up the can't run box, you actually wind up stealing ATB away from the enemy, because as long as that box is popped up, nothing they do can advance. So kind of the strategy here, and you're going to see it fairly often in this run, is you'll run buffer, and once you run buffer, attack during it, you'll save some ATB along the way. Sometimes you can get through that fight. It's kind of a random agility fight. Sometimes you can get through that fight without any attacks from the guard at all. The Tara got a little bit mucky on the ATB there.
Better than my practices, though, so I'm happy with that. I was getting two attacks in my practice. I was like, seriously? How?
Why?
What? So this menu I'm about to do is actually one of the most important menus as far as I'm concerned. It's make sure your child doesn't die.
Well, dead children, not what you want to see for sure. So that tiara, the reason the tiara is so important is because we are not leveling Riddy at all before we take on the next boss, and the tiara is the only thing that reasonably lets her survive any attacks at all. Even with the tiara equipped, it's like 10 physical defense or something. It's really high in this game. Octomom can still do up to 18 damage to her on one swing. So it's still kind of hit or miss whether she lives or dies, but it's a lot more consistent than it would be otherwise, because otherwise you'd just be constantly reviving her.
Yeah, it's way less scary. She actually gets a chance to be useful where otherwise she's just too busy being dead.
So you did the all-important remembering to go see Rosa.
Yes, please never forget that if you start speedrunning this. We've all done it, and it hurts so bad.
If you do that, you will be blocked by Tellah here, and he will tell you that he can't allow you to advance.
Yeah, he'll be like, go back. You're not meant to be here. Aha, I have my seed already. I am on seed 113.
Excellent.
That's great when you have your seed this early, because it's less
I think
paying
that's
attention.
actually, that's like a pretty good zone too, right?
I'm okay with that.
So.
We'll find out. It's got steps in the. It's important to find out your seed early, because the save room we're going to come across shortly is the first spot where you could possibly have to take extra steps. So knowing where those steps are and when to take them, definitely important.
Yeah, so I guess to kind of go into for this further, because every encounter you take in this game, at bare minimum, assuming you run away right away, takes maybe 7 or 8 seconds. It saves you a lot of time over the course of a run just to try to have as few encounters as possible. And a lot of what we're doing step route wise is just setting up to get as few encounters as possible. Some of it is also avoiding particular encounters that are nasty, but early game that doesn't really come into account yet. This is more about just, can I get as few encounters as possible along the way?
As well, yeah, absolutely. And if you misstep, your run's over. Or not your run, but your step route is done. And let's be clear, we're talking about step routing. It is not a necessary part of this run. It makes things more consistent, and it makes things potentially faster, but it is absolutely not required. Even the Seed 92 that I set up at the beginning does it. So there's 256 different encounter seeds. So we're just trying to figure out which one we're on so we know where we find things. So speaking of finding things, okay, extra steps done.
So we had 6 extra steps in that room. The reason why you take steps in this room, and as you'll see generally in most rooms, is you take these steps because you can't get an encounter there. Sometimes the step route will actually tell you to force an encounter in a room where you can get an encounter earlier to save you from a worse encounter. But generally, most of the step manipulation is about avoiding encounters entirely.
Yeah, it's walking in rooms where the step counter still increments, but you can't actually get an encounter. So if you take a step which should have an encounter, but you're in a room which is encounterless, it just goes, okay, no encounter, keep going, and so you skip it. So it's definitely really, really useful.
That's right. And so in this game, because we did that glitch earlier and we got all this GP extremely early, we don't really pick up a lot of weapons, items, armor in this run. One exception we go out of way to pick up is the Darkness Sword here, kind of hanging out on this chest at the bottom of the bridge. Kind of the reason you do this is because Octomom is weak to the Darkness Sword, and it gives you more consistent damage there. But otherwise, Cecil's not going to be getting a lot of levels. He's not going to be really becoming a better fighter in any way throughout the course of the run. But that little boost in attack power really helps him both here and pretty much until he becomes a Paladin. So it's really important to pick this one up.
Yeah, you in the last set of battles you do before you get the next sword, you're really seeing how bad even this sword is. So if you skip it, you're just suffering a lot. So do yourself a favor, don't skip the sword. You will actually just waste more time than you will save.
Yeah, let's put it another way. There are runs of this game that actually just go to Octomom, only because Octomom, you will soft lock and Damsian if you do the misclip, and don't actually get ready. You soft lock when you get the Damsian because Tellah never joins your party. But there are runs of this game where they only do this, just kind of meme category, and even in those runs, you still pick up Darkness Sword.
Okay.
All right, so the Octomom fight, kind of explain this one. Octomom starts off extremely fast in this fight. Comes out, tentacles wailing, and tries to bop everybody right away. As she takes damage, she loses tentacles, and as she loses tentacles, she loses speed. So early on, what Natara's just trying to do here is put as many hits on as possible. These are some pretty good damage rolls so far.
I'm not unhappy.
And as it loses tentacles and becomes slower, what we will end up doing is stopping Tellah, because Tellah provides very little DPS in this fight, and he kind of doesn't have much use after those first two lit ones, because he's no longer contributing to a slowdown. So you'll see Natara either stop Tellah, maybe tier 2, ready to play it safe. I'm not sure what she's going to do here. But
no, we're going to YOLO it.
After that, we're stopping Tellah.
Oh, I shouldn't have YOLO'd it.
It's okay.
We're fine. Just makes it a little bit slower.
Nothing could possibly go wrong in this run.
Nothing could possibly go wrong, exactly.
And one good thing about it is Octomom never kills Rydia either, so it's hard to see it coming.
Never ever. Honestly, Tellah will lose that stop before this battle is over. So I have plenty of opportunity to bring Rydia back so she gets the levels from this battle. It just makes it a bit slower.
Yeah, Tellah has Life 1 learned. He can miss Life 1, but generally speaking, he doesn't.
You can also not press up hard enough and life an already alive party member.
Wow, I'm running so much by this one.
Right?
Yeah, so yeah.
Oh my gosh, you cursed me.
I was not saying anything after he said that, because you're attempting
you
a jinx
did
there.
it, you monster. Yeah, we have a term we refer to as Tellah life, because Tellah is awful and terrible.
Don't die, Tellah.
Oh, you serious? Are you heckin' kidding me? Well,
Tellah life! Oh my god.
Oh my god, Rivers, you just
my
double
God.
jinxed the fight.
kicked off commentary and we've barely gotten anywhere.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.
Wow, it's so much fun commentating instead of running.
Wow. Oh, that was great.
So Tellah has I would say his wisdom and willpower start really low, or start at a mediocre level. He can miss spells. He can miss his stop spells. He can miss his life spells, as you saw. It's kind of a low percentage chance. It's something like 15 or 25% or something like that. But when you miss it twice in a row, yeah, that's not good, Natara.
No, not good, Natara. Listen, friend.
I think we know whose fault that was, Rivers.
Yeah,
Natara's.
Natara's fault was missing that one life by pressing the wrong button. The other two were on you, my friend.
Game don't lie, Natara. Game don't lie.
But yeah, this is one of the reasons we get very angry at Tellah. He has some really excellent potential. He can be so good. And then he does stuff like that, like missing life twice in a row.
Yeah, Tellah is such a big part of the speed run because of glitches, and because a lot of his glitches in the game are extremely impactful for damage. So yeah, he's a very important party member, and so he gets relied on a lot and screws up a lot. And something like Spoony Bard, I think it is. Is it Forky Bard?
Could be Knifey Bard.
I don't remember.
Also,
Chat, can you
Rivers.
remind me?
Yeah, Yeah, chat, tell us all about it. Also, Rivers, why am I pausing in this battle?
That's an excellent question, Atara. The reason you are pausing in this battle is because when you pause during an attack animation and during cutscene stuff like this, these text boxes that pop up, you actually pause the in-game timer. And Natara is aiming for a specific in-game time because the in-game time is part of the glitch at the very end of the run, which she's aiming for a specific window. So these pauses are to try to help her fit into that window.
Absolutely. Otherwise, we may have a period of standing around and waiting at the end of the run, so nobody wants that. F's in chat for Anna.
Rest in peace, Anna. You'd be a better character than some.
Yeah, agreed. So Tellah has found out that the person in charge of the Red Wings now, since Cecil was demoted, is named Golbez, and he's the one who led this attack. And Anna is actually Tellah's daughter, so who ran away to get married to this bard, who turns out to also be the Prince of Damcian. So he was protected by Anna. She took the shot for Edward, so she died instead. But we need Edward's help. We spoke to our poor girlfriend Rosa, who is asleep in the bed, and by asleep I mean sick, and the only person who can help us get the item we need to cure her is Edward. So we ditched our mage and we picked up a bard who you may have some hate for, but he's actually pretty darn useful in this speedrun.
Yeah, Edward, by his character design that allows him to throw a dancing dagger and use it as an item, actually becomes one of the best characters in the entire speedrun. I'm not kidding. It's all because of that one dagger.
Yeah, there's no lie. He's in the speedrun. He's really good.
So unfortunately, because of what happened with Natara, she's definitely picking up that safety life, and it's no longer a safety life, it's a mandatory life.
It's a mandatory life. Yeah, we need that.
Oh god.
Oh, why are you doing this to me, game? Don't make me lose my step route now. Don't do this to me.
Wow.
Wow, what is happening here? Yeah, there's a lot of encounters on this step route.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're fun.
Everything will be fine all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So this one chest is kind of just like right in your way. You can't miss it. It has a life potion in it. It's kind of divisive over some runners whether to pick it up or not, I would say.
Always.
But in this case, Natara really has no choice because she needs Rydia to have the experience from this next fight. So she's got to pick it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really need it because the fight after this is actually kind of scary, and it's going to be even more scary because she missed out on that experience.
Yeah, I was about to ask, how much does missing that experience really mess with these next upcoming fights?
It's not great. It could be worse, but...
Yeah, it will make Mom Bomb harder, but otherwise Rydia doesn't appear in this run again for a long time, so...
Yeah, absolutely. But thankfully, this boss is not going to do us any world of hurt as long as I don't make any miss menus, so that's a bonus. That's why we can go in with 10 HP on Edward and not be worried.
So Antlion is one of the hardest fights in the game casually, because you have to fight him almost entirely with Rydia's magic, and every attack you do winds up with him countering with that, I think it's just counter even. Yeah, just counter. But because we picked up these dancing daggers, and because they do a lot of damage to him, and they count as a magical attack, he doesn't counter. So in the speedrun, he's actually a total joke, and usually in 3 or 4 hits he's dead.
Like that.
Chat asking what world record is. World record in this category is a 154.50 by the Roth.
Yeah, we have a lot of really excellent runners in our community, Rivers being one of them actually, and definitely check out their runs. He actually ran this exact category in GDQ, AGDQ 2018.
That's right, and you commentated it in AGDQ 2018.
I did.
Are you enjoying our role switch here?
It's great.
Did you get to commentators curse him during that run?
No, I was nice.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'll be inviting him back.
Yeah.
Or you'll make sure to get revenge next time?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fine. I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, no. Commentating's where I live. I love running, but commentating is my thing. So definitely, but it's fun to swap it up every once in a while.
The credit warp category, if you missed it in the introduction, there's a credit warp that saves about 10 minutes over this time. But because it's incredibly hard to actually make work, as in at the very end of the run, you can randomly just lose the entire thing.
Yep.
Very few people actually run it.
Yeah, it's bad. I tried it exactly once, and it was one of the worst things I've ever tried to run. Never again. Actually, we did a community race for it, and there were 4 of us running, and only one of us won, because the rest of us got glitched.
Yeah, soft locked or forfeited. When you're relying on an arbitrary code execution like that, credit warp actually takes it. It's actually very hard to reliably finish anything.
Yeah, pretty rude. NPCs being nice. I don't know why I said that. I've cursed myself.
Oh, so now I'm not the only one?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, the Hovercraft is really difficult to navigate, but I play a lot of the free enterprise, the FF4 randomizer, and it has an option to double speed the Hovercraft. So I've just gotten used to driving really fast. Helps you get used to driving a little slower. Suddenly it doesn't seem quite so fast.
It sure does, doesn't it?
It sure does.
I'm one of the developers of the free enterprise randomizer as well, so like I've had my hand in a lot of FF4 stuff over the years, and it's so good to see the vanilla speedrun just back out here. It's been a while.
Yeah, any of those games we can do a speed up. You do it for after a while, and then you do it without, and it's like it's slow motion. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Just get
slow
used to it
motion.
going so fast.
You do, but what I found is I got used to the faster menus of the randomizer, so now I expect them to be faster in this, so I menu faster in this. So I'm like, for me, it helped. For some folks, it really, trips them up. But for me, I'm like, this is great.
So this is kind of a cutscene battle coming up here, where Edward, playing his harp, is very sad, and he's attacked by a random water hag. Now, this water hag dies in 3 hits no matter what you do. You literally can't actually kill him. He has 43,000 HP or something ridiculous like that.
45,672.
43,000, 80,000, whatever it is. The important thing here is that Edward's going to do 3 hits to it and it will be dead. We put him in the middle almost entirely because he can get those 3 hits guaranteed with the Dancing Dagger here. In older versions of the speedrun, or in glitchless version of the speedrun, he has to use the harp. The harp has a lot worse accuracy. There are videos out there of community members in this fight for 5 minutes, just praying that Water Hag will finally die.
Yeah, and in the Japanese version, you can't get the dancing daggers, or they don't according to their rules. So yeah, this fight actually gets a little bit scary, while for us it's a complete joke.
That's right, and it does get Edward some levels, which are really well needed for him to kind of be competitive with Mom Bomb, the next boss. And that's kind of why it's in here in the first place. But yeah, he's going to need those, especially now Barbariccia at a lower level than usual.
Yeah, that's not going to be so great. And our white mage that we just acquired does not have life. Or, no, I don't think she has life yet.
She does not.
Nope, so we're going to hope to get some lucky hits here. We're definitely going to save at the base to just in case.
That is a terrific idea.
I think so. I'm big on safety saving, so from here on out in the rest of the run, especially with how the luck is going thus far, you're going to see a lot of safety saves.
That's right. So Natara are going to ride this hovercraft all the way over to Mount Hobs, which is our next kind of dungeon location. Natara has a really good canon story here.
Oh, yeah.
About the Rosa and Rydia talk. So please, Natara, go into that one.
Okay, so it's really important to note, you're here because you need to go to warn the next place about the upcoming, attack. And we have this child who we need to melt this ice wall. but she doesn't want to learn fire spell because her town just got burnt down. So Rosa, either through cookie bribes or really good motivational speech, convinces this poor young child that she actually does like playing with fire. And so she learns the fire spell just to never use it again. Hurrah!
Yeah, the Fire 1 spell is incredibly useless in a speedrun perspective, but
So useless.
good for her.
Yay, you learned fire.
Way to overcome your trauma in like 3 cutscenes.
That's just how good Rosa is. I'm sure you could tell us a thing or two about how great Rosa is.
Rosa's the best character in the game, clearly. So, I mean, I don't even think I have to defend that.
Confirmed fact. Okay, we're gonna yellow this fight. I don't have the values up. So this fight that's coming up, I have no control over it, essentially. No purposeful control. But the values which we're going to get in this battle are randomized, and so to a point. But we do have a document that tracks them because we want 3 turns. This could be as many as 5 turns, though. So depending on the damage range that Yang does on that first attack, I could start pausing in order to manipulate it and to try and get a better outcome. But I'm not using that. We're just going for it. We're going for the 3 turn. I have faith in you, Yang. No, we got the 4.
Classic Yang.
Classic Yang. But
Perhaps
yeah,
my least favorite character in the speedrun.
Who's your least favorite character?
Yang, just because he's always missing things.
That's fair.
So
what you do?
The Mom Bomb fight here, we need to do about 800 damage on it to get it to its second phase. In its second phase, it will transform into this big tomato-looking thing and then explode on everybody in the party. Because Iridia is lower level, it's possible, if not likely, that she will die from this explosion. But after that, it turns into 6 smaller bombs. At that point, we will be using Kick, the Dancing Daggers, to take out the gray ones, which have more HP, and just attacks from our other fighters to kind of take out the rest of these guys.
Now we just have to wait. Did we get lucky? Yeah, that's great, actually.
Oh, nice roll.
Nice roll. You don't get rolls that low often, so that's fabulous.
Yeah, Iridia surviving that is really good for Natara's fight here.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's one of the 2 characters that can throw that Dancing Dagger, and so let's get rid of these gray bombs a little bit faster.
That orange one looked at me wrong.
There's definitely no way you measured that one wrong.
And that's okay. It's not like we need Edward alive or anything.
Nah, he's fine.
He's fine. He's taking a nap. He's worked hard.
He's worked really hard, yeah. I mean, he's been busy.
We actually do need him alive, but whatever.
It is nice to have him alive, but it's not important, I would say.
Yeah, the next set of battles, we have 6 random encounters, which have boss battle music, but the hide mechanic is really quite rude in that it always makes Edward hide when he is critical HP in random encounters, but it doesn't do that on bosses. So you would think it wouldn't happen in this set of battles because the boss battle music is playing, but no, alas, it is random encounters. So if his HP gets too low, he's gonna hide and be totally useless.
Yeah, the game has a kind of a code for bosses that just turns the flat-out boss bit. If you have this boss bit, you can, for instance, not be hit by stats effects at all, almost, with a few exceptions like slow, I guess. But other than that, you typically won't see any boss get hit by any of those things. The enemies in the Football Gauntlet do not have any of the flags at all because they're just replications of other enemies in the game. So if Edward happens to get hit into critical HP, he will automatically hide, and because he is our only real damage at this point, that is very bad for the speedrun, and you're going to see Natara safety save before Fabul because there have been instances where a runner has taken quite a good run to this little spot here and just gone way off the wall once Edward got bopped in the face in the first fight.
Yeah, it can turn really dangerous very quickly. So yeah, I always recommend safety saving outside of Fabul. Let's do that right now. So we don't care about anyone who got bopped on the walk because we are getting a free heal, plus Rydia and Rosa will be removed from our party. So we're not too worried if they die.
Well, I mean, you do want the tiara, right?
Yeah, but that's later.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and did you
Just
know that
checking.
you can did you know that you can equip and unequip people when they're swooned? Because you
You
can.
can.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm learning so much.
Right? But yes, I always, because everyone's alive and full health at the end, and we get a sword that I want to equip on Cecil after this sequence, so I do that sequence afterwards. Okay. Wish me luck.
Yeah. Just saving menus. Good luck. Get your room buffer right.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Only everything, I guess.
Only everything. Okay, good start.
So you saw the run buffer pop up again, as we explained earlier. That kind of freezes enemy ATB. Natar actually got a really nice ATB roll from these enemies. They can get fairly fast if they get the best kind of agility roll, and if they don't, then you get what you got here, which is usually one attack or maybe 0 if you're lucky enough to get a crit in. But Edward surviving that first fight with only 1 hit, and it's a pretty low hit, is actually a good start for this gauntlet.
Yeah, we're okay with that.
Cecil and Yang are kind of doing cleanup duty, while Edward is kind of taking out the main threat in all these fights. So in this next set of fights, the Weeper is the enemy with the most HP, so you'll see the dagger go to that. You'll see Cecil attacking the Water Hag, or the Dark Imp, and Edward the other one.
Yeah, usually it's Cecil attacks the Water Hag because the Water Hag has a weakness to his sword. So you want to squeak out every little extra bit of damage you can.
That's right, especially because both Yang and Cecil at this point are, as it is a speed run, pretty underleveled, and neither of them can actually put up a whole lot of damage right now. So you definitely want those weaknesses if you can get them.
Yeah. Also, to answer the question in chat, I pronounce it Fabul.
Fabul.
Fable's a cool way to pronounce it, though.
So Natara 2 for 2 on these anti-dagger buffers. That's it's better than I've done in Marathon. So
Yeah, it could
no
be a lot
hating here.
worse. Yeah.
I like to do the general. I think he's fun to hit.
Yeah.
Always works out well.
Oh, gosh. And if you get enough damage, that does work out well because they won't attack if he's dead. But you have to, then you're actually hoping on damage rolls there. It's not a guaranteed one-hit kill.
That's right.
It's always sad seeing the NPC friends getting whittled down like that.
True. Also, I did a very important thing in that 4th battle.
Yeah, you saw her kind of manipulate around with Yang's claws a little bit. That's going to be part of the glitch that we do at the end of the game. We really need a lot of claws for some reason. I don't really know why. We just need a lot of them. Just don't question it.
Claws are cool.
Yeah. And because of Natara doing that, she has, again, kind of utilized the dupe glitch. And she will be creating a big stack of claws for later on.
Which we are definitely going to sell the correct amount of.
Yes, we are. After our earlier practice run today, did not do quite as good of a job of that.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. Oh, that was a good time to get hit. That was actually ideal. Oh, that could have been so much worse. I'm not sad about that.
As ideal as Edward hiding it can ever be, that's this fight right here.
And it was after we had input the command, so he's safe. But yeah, no, I learned the hard way what happens if I have the wrong amount of claws. I didn't know before. I do now.
Was it recoverable, or?
Yes. Thankfully, yes. But it was scary for a bit.
So
I was like, oh.
Eagle-eyed viewers probably saw us earlier. Natara took the shadow shield off of Cecil. The reason you do this is specifically for this fight right here against Kayn. We want Cecil to be in a weakened state as quickly as possible. Sometimes Kane is nice enough to just jump and just put him right there, get a jump crit. Other times you have to hit yourself right here. And because Natara took that Shadow Shoot off, Cecil has a little bit less defense. Thus, he was able to go into critical early in the fight. If you don't hit that, it takes some more cutscene dialogue. It probably saves you about 15 seconds. So, a little minor optimization right there.
Yeah, and we didn't get extra text, so that's good. Unfortunately, there's no way that I know of to manipulate the values of that fight yet. So it's just kind of cross your fingers and hope you get the result, the time-saving result.
Chat question was if speedrunners like using Kane. Kane's very important for the speedrun, actually.
Very important.
We'll be spending a lot of time killing other people, actually, to get Kane experience. Either in this run or even in the full game run of this Nintendo 64 category. Both of them, we want Kane at the very end, doing some good damage.
Yeah, there's something called a shadow party, where once you've had somebody, even if they leave your party, they are still getting a fraction of the experience. So we are going to experience route to make sure that Kane is getting as much of that extra experience as possible.
Yeah, so even like right now, just being part of the shadow party for Octomom, like Kane got the experience from that fight as well. And since he's been in the shadow party ever since he left in Mist, he'll be continually accumulating the total experience of the battle, which is why if you kill people in your party, you wind up with more experience that gets sent directly to him. So this is kind of how you manipulate experience and play with the values so that we can get him at a level that helps us really compete the speedrun and as quickly as you can.
And you're going to notice I did some really peculiar walking through Fabul. And that was because my step route told me I needed in my walk to have 2 optional steps. So what that means is I had to change the path I was walking in order to step on more tiles or less tiles that would give me steps. So very important. Okay, so there we go. Now it's time to menu. Speaking of important. Okay, so take off that fire claw.
What makes Kane valuable is that he is by far the most important damage source in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He winds up with the fire sword towards the end of the run. His jump command is something that isn't counterable by most of the bosses at the end of the run, and it's also important for getting Golbez how to spin. So for these reasons, and a couple of others too, I mean, he's just much more powerful than Cecil is early game, or mid game, I should say. It's important that Kane gets a lot of experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at my step route, and I will once we land on the other side with our boat, I will get one encounter before I make it to the town I'm heading to. That's just rude.
Rude.
Also, everyone say hi to Sheila. She is not named in this game. She's just Yang's wife, but she's fabulous and we love her, so say hi.
Sheila is a great free enterprise meme because she's always got the goods.
Always got the goods. Hey, I can look at chat again.
Interesting. Look at that. So this is one of the biggest cutscenes in the game. Basically, what happens story-wise is where the King of Football is like, "Oh man, this is getting out of hand. The Golbez is taking crystals left and right. We've got to send you guys to Baron in a boat." And instead, minor spoilers. Instead, a giant typhoon happens, and Leviathan comes out of it and eats the boat.
Yeah. Also, very important question. Please keep an eye out. Did Yang jump or was Yang pushed? Put your answer in chat. You'll see the sequence. It's a big debate in the community.
Big controversy.
No, really, it's a huge debate.
Somebody should make viral YouTube videos about it. I think that's the next step.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you look in this frame, you can see Yang clearly with the push.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I'm on team push. Dark Knight Cecil has to get one last evil deed in. So yeah, it's coming up here. My voice is a little head of the stream, so once you see the boat shaking, keep an eye out.
I always find that when I'm trying to create the best crew that I can of sailors, definitely important that they all jump around and spin around.
Yeah, I think that's super important.
Yeah, that was the jump right there. Did Yang jump or was Yang pushed off?
Yep.
That is a question that plagues FF4 memes.
Yeah, we have a lot of memes. If you've missed the beginning, so many memes.
So you said this is
Edward.
a long cutscene, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just about over now. But for Final Fantasy IV, yeah, it was a long cutscene.
Do we have a moment to plug things real quick?
Oh yeah.
All right. So just as a reminder, Frame Fatale is coming up this Sunday. It's gonna be awesome. Make sure you tune in the 18th through the 22nd, starting at noon Eastern. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You guys definitely want to watch it. And just want to remind everyone watching real quick that Hotfix is funded in part thanks to subscription and bits. Please consider subscribing to support future podcasts.
Yeah, Frame Fatales is going to be an amazing event. I will be running two games myself, so definitely come check that out. But first, shopping.
Chad, I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, the last thing FF4 needs is more remakes. There's a lot of FF4 remakes.
There's so many.
Don't worry, we don't need an HD version.
Yeah, some of them are bad. Some of them are very bad. Okay, speaking of bad, hold on a sec, I gotta focus. Okay, I did it.
Okay, it's very important that Natara sell those fire claws. She needs a very specific number, which is why we kind of like pause for concentration there. Also, it's important that she hits the right number of items to buy, specifically because we're trying to manipulate the GP value of the game to an amount that helps us kind of guide through the glitch. So, I mean, you're seeing a lot of small things over this run that kind of add up to the technical marvel that is the 64 floor glitch, which will be about an hour now.
Yeah, it's as River says, like the little things. We've already done a bunch of setup, and there is more to come. So it's going to be great. You're actually going to see a graphical setup we're going to do. I'm going to bring up an overlay so we can play at home. Did the Chocobo leave the screen on the correct side? To talk about the really silly things we have to do to make this glitch work.
That's right. So, Natara, you seem to have acquired some twins.
I have.
Some twin kids. What a good elder to put twin kids in the custody of the guy who just came and stole their crystal and put a lot of people in prison.
The whole thing about the plot right here is the elder will not help you. Cecil has crash landed in the place where he stole a crystal at the beginning of the game. And so the elder's like, no, you're a bad person. I'm not going to help you save the world like you're requesting. The only way we'll trust you is if you can go to the Mount Ordeals and become a paladin. Oh, but take these 2 5-year-olds with you. Like, what? You're bad, elder. Like, no, stop.
You must prove your worth by kidnapping these children.
Well, basically that. We don't trust you with saving the world, but here, take these 2 children. Like, no.
So anybody who has watched this like a GDQ or something, you probably know that there are glitches that we can use to kill both Milon and Milon Z very quickly. Via the what we call the mimic glitch, where we kind of glitch out one of the twins and make them be able to throw items you wouldn't normally be able to throw. Natara's not going to be doing those. This is kind of a short notice thing where she's just kind of trying to put the game in a usable state for her. So we're not going to be attempting those. So Natara, what are we going to be doing on Milon and Milon Z?
We're going to be doing... It's still a really cool setup. We're going to be abusing status effects in order to avoid damage. The first fight will not be using the status effect, but we are going to be using Twin Cast. We're going to put those twins to good use. And then the second fight, we are going to be tossing a lot of potions and turning half of our party into pigs. Like I like to call it the half piggy party. So it's a lot of fun. It's you can turn, for safety, you can turn your entire party into pigs and just toss Cure 2 potions, and the boss is such a breeze. But We'll explain it in a little more detail when we get there, but yeah, it's...
Yeah, I actually pioneered that strat.
Oh, nice.
That's Pally Turning 1 right there.
Love it. Yeah, the mimic glitch that Rivers talked about is definitely the faster way to do things. And the mimic glitch in the second fight is generally speaking pretty doable. However, it's very technical, and if you don't get it just right, you can waste a lot of time. So for safety and for marathon and everything, and like Rivers said, for prep's sake, I'm doing a little safer strat, but we get pigs, so that's fun too, right?
Well, just to answer a chat question, how much time does it save? Trash can on its own saves about 45 seconds. I would say carrot is anywhere between like 15 and 20, depending on how fast you get it off and what version of it you get and how the ATV rolls are.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be really technical.
So you'll see that we ran into Tellah here at the top of this mountain.
Oh, yay.
He's back, Natara's favorite.
I love him so much.
Especially during this run.
I don't love him.
Done
I don't
so
love
much
him
on the
generally,
good
and
side.
the thing is, he can be useful in situations, and actually later on in this run, he's going to be incredibly useful, but he's just proven to me time and time again why I should hate him. And Rivers is like, no, you gotta love him. He's got good use, and I'm like, no.
Well, I
Can't
mean,
convince me.
after these next two fights, Tellah becomes the most important character in the
He
entire
does.
speed run for
So good.
like 45 minutes. And it's kind of funny because he has so much of that burden placed on him, and he makes a lot of mistakes. Like he's like all at the same time invaluable, and also you want to wring his neck.
Yeah, you really do. Okay. Making sure I step right there, though we're going to lose our step route on purpose shortly. But, oh, excellent.
I do like that the important characters in this run rotate quite a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does, and it's often in the speed run, it's not the same characters that are going to be important in the casual run. So it's really neat to see that difference, to see characters that you were used to being totally garbage, just absolutely wrecking bosses. So it's good. So it's like we're gonna just doing some prep. No one actually got hit. Excellent. Good news. Okay, let's do it.
Wow.
Shocking up.
The back attack was walk up Ordeals.
Hashtag the dream.
Pulling it off in a marathon. Go to Tara.
That's what happens. Okay, so speaking of Cure 2s, we gotta get rid of these zombies. They're no good.
Yeah, so Cure 2s wind up being a very offensive spell, for lack of a better term, for what we're doing here, even though really it's just a cure potion. But because everything at the top of this mountain, except for Milon himself, is undead, you can just go ahead and clear out these zombies and do a lot of damage to Milon Z himself with these Cure 2s.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Oh, excellent. Flare. Oh, good damage, too.
So in twin strats here, basically what you want to see with this is Flare has odds wise, you have a 75% chance of seeing a Flare. You have a 25% chance of seeing Comet, which is a spell that does less damage but spreads it out more because the damage doesn't split on it. And also you have the 1 in 256 chance, commentator's curse I'm coming, of not doing anything at all.
No, you didn't do it.
Aww.
You get to stay.
I tried so
Yeah,
hard.
I appreciate that. Oh, okay.
Wow, that was a 2 Flare one. That's a really nice fight.
Yeah, that was nice. We'll take that.
RNG
We will not
is
say no
our
to
favorite.
that. Yes, it was. Okay. Speaking of which, now we're going to do some quick menuing. Speaking of those pigs, it's time. Pigs for everyone. And by everyone, I mean half my party. Okay.
So the reason Natara is piggying Cecil and Tellah but not Palom and Porum is because Palom and Porum need to be status free to be able to cast Twin. That's kind of the gist of it. Cecil and Tellah have no real contribution to this fight other than attacking or checking potions, so she's fine turning them into pigs.
Yep. They can still do both of those things as pigs, but it means they won't get poisoned. And for some reason, the message speed in this battle is just incredibly slow. So if you get someone poisoned, never mind, the message, if the damage comes up, just hangs out forever. So So we're going to do this because I'm just having none of this. We're not doing it. Just no.
Yeah, so to actually kind of expand on that, the reason why some fights in this game have slow text pop-up boxes and some don't is all because if the battle precursor actually has text, if there is text that the boss says, that makes the Roma for box pop up extra long for whatever reason they coded it that way.
Yeah, makes sense. And Milon Z himself. Yeah.
Still some good twin rolls here.
Yes, indeed.
See, this is why you just pick everybody. You just throw your tears.
Yeah, this is what happens. That's okay. We're at the point. We're fine. We're fine.
No, there's nothing actually wrong with this. It just takes time.
Yeah, it's just time consuming. I'm not particularly worried. So, a little more worried. We're fine. Why did I do that? That was silly. 14 damage. Go Tellah.
Got him.
Got him.
Yeah, that's the comment that we did not want to see.
That's okay.
Actually, still a pretty good roll for comment, though. So,
yeah.
You see the shake? That is our first of the elemental fiends down. We will be killing exactly 3 of them in this run.
Yeah, there is no 4th. Don't know what you're talking about. Okay, also, side effect of doing this strat, which is one of the reasons I do it, I'm not gonna lie, is Cecil is a paladin walking around. And yes, the streamer is a few seconds ahead of stream due to the sound setup. So I apologize. So when Cecil walks into the cave, he's still considered a character while the other people are considered NPCs. So they get turned back to normal, and he stays a pig. So he is our piggy pally.
Yeah, we call this the pig Latin.
Yes, do you want to explain the pig? Why did I turn them into pigs specifically? What does that do, other than look cool?
Well, there is a status priority kind of hierarchy in this game, and because that last boss fight involved so much potential poison, and the poison message takes so long, Natara changed half of her party into pigs, because pig has a higher priority than poison, and you cannot be poisoned if you're already a pig.
Actually, it's higher than curse, but curse is broken and doesn't actually work. So you don't get cursed, but it's higher than curse. Or I think, yeah, it's definitely higher than curse.
So this is a cool strat found by Nirm in, I want to say, like 2015, 2014, where we usually used to just wait this out, but apparently it's faster because this Dark Knight's HP was nerfed in this version to just throw daggers at it instead of do the whole cutscene. So, you know, something about something, Paladin, Justice, whatever, you're going to be dead in 3 hits.
Yep. Yeah, it's great. Very rarely will you get the text. You have to get really low dagger rolls, which is possible, but not often.
That was just unlucky. This game is not coded at a complex enough level for the boss to target anybody specifically, although it does seem like it sometimes, doesn't it, Tara?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it definitely does, but no, it doesn't. It just bias. Viewer, runner, bias.
Confirmation bias.
Oh, speaking of which, but not really, we're going to add a cute little overlay. Don't worry about the red bars you now see on the screen. We're going to play a little game. They're going to be...
Not behaving.
What?
I said I'm going to guess not behaving at first.
Oh, yeah, no, it's fine. So these bars aren't going to be useful quite yet, but this is a really good time to activate them. And so they are absolutely important for the glitch. This is an image overlay, which anyone who runs this game is allowed to use. So technically, yes, tool-assisted speedrun, but it is confirmed by the community. You are allowed to use them. I am going to be attempting a manipulation, so I should know exactly where the Chocobo is going. But you folks can play along at home.
Yeah, so to kind of further explain why these bars are popped up here, one of the things that our game-ending glitch that we're going to do in about an hour looks at is, well, where did the yellow Chocobo that you last took leave the screen? And
Yep.
It's very silly that it comes down to this, but apparently this is how the game is coded. This is one of the rooms that we have to get past. So we jury-rigged up this little set of red bars, and the top pixel of the Chocobo has to not touch any of the red bars, or else we know that it's a bad Chocobo, and if it's a bad Chocobo, we have to get another Chocobo. It's impossible to finish the run without getting a Chocobo to go through the right side.
Absolutely. And if I do my manip correctly, the Chocobo will leave on the right side in that bottom clear space. So let's see if we get it. I have to actually leave the mountain first, though.
That's right. And Tara has been on a step route now, but she's going to leave that step route to actually try to guarantee the Chocobo.
Yes. Yeah, I have to reset my game in order to do the manipulation. And by resetting, I will be losing my step route with no way to reclaim it for me. So, but for me, this is worth it because that's some good marathon safety. Okay. And now I also have to mash into my save as quickly as possible because how long you stay in the load screen also affects the glitch. Okay, should have gotten it. So what I wanted to do there is pick up that Chocobo as it was walking upwards towards me. So I think I got it, but we'll see now. The bars will tell us.
As a big sports ball fan myself, I like to think about this as a field goal attempt. So
yeah, we did it. I don't know, Chad, you tell me. Did we do it?
Looks like you did it.
Yeah, looks like it's me. And it's the top pixel of that Chocobo's head that has to not touch. So there have been many debates during a run where you're just like, did I get it? Can someone check my stream back? Did I get it? Did it hit that pixel?
Please watch the VOD. Please help me.
Yeah, because if you're not doing the manipulation, if you're trying to stick on your step route, it's actually up to contention. You don't know. So yeah, things get a tiny bit scarier now, but we're going to be saving a lot. But I do not know what encounters are coming when. I will not be taking extra steps on purpose. So it'll be great.
Yeah, Natara will be using the fabled Cure 2 strats because at this point, so let's kind of explain more about the encounter surprise attack, back attack sort of thing. The calculus for this is actually the average level of your party, and because our Cecil now is level 1, you can see that this throws a crimp into things. It makes it a lot more likely that we get back attacked. And also, at the same time, we've been blessed with a party full of very slow characters, and that will continue for the rest of this run. So this is the part of both this speedrun and also the 64 speedrun of this game that kind of becomes the back attack zone. Like you can lose a ton of time just walking in these next 5 or 6 splits, I would say.
Yeah, you absolutely can, and you can take a lot of damage, and you can die. You can just die in an encounter because you got back attacked and didn't have enough health. So yeah, there's going to be times I'm going to be going into my menu and curing. I'm going to be taking those cure 2s, and I'm going to spend that little bit of time for safety. So you definitely don't want to hurt it. Cecil's a great name. Okay,
Assuming that's a big difference between like a marathon setting and just like going for a PB.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you would definitely be playing a lot riskier on a PB attempt.
Absolutely, you would. Oh yeah, strat's very different then. You definitely want to step out on a PB attempt. Oh my gosh. Child.
One of the best NPCs in the game right there.
Oh my gosh. She's the worst.
Natara, you going to try to throw a carrot at Yang?
No. Yeah, totally. Yeah, we're doing it.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun. You rocked it. It was great.
It definitely wasn't luck, that's for sure. So if you've ever played this casually, you might have been inclined to just try to kill Yang normally. This karate boss, as he's called, actually has like 4,000 HP, I think. Also, he dies instantaneously to one of Paladin Cecil's attacks after his second kick, no matter what the attack is, no matter if the attack hits or not.
Yep.
So that is the only determining factor in this fight being success or not. And we just wait here with Cecil and then miss, and then ow!
Ow, that hurts so much. Stop hitting me. Okay, we didn't hit you. Please. Don't tell Mom.
We personally, I know Natara has played casual FF5, but neither of us personally speed FF5.
Yeah, I don't speedrun it. I do 4-job fiestas occasionally. Oh, no Ghost Girl. Sad.
Aw. Sometimes if that NPC is in the correct spot, you can walk right through her.
Yeah.
That's what we kind of refer to her as Ghost Girl for.
Yeah, what is with our old party members that keep trying to kill us? Weird, right?
It's almost like something's happening.
Yeah. Almost like
FF4 is
someone's...
it's a very brainwash heavy game.
It's very brainwash heavy. If suddenly someone is attacking you that shouldn't be, they were brainwashed. Sometimes people who you thought should be attacking you, turns out, yep, they were also brainwashed. Okay.
So plot-wise, kind of Yang was brainwashed into becoming Captain of the Guard. At this point, Natara has the Baron key, and because guards are blocking the door, you need this key to get into Baron Castle through this underground waterway. You can actually see this waterway early in the game, but you can't really interact with it in any way. I believe the way that they block it off is by making the tile not trigger that would take you down. Okay, I'll be quiet here.
It's not like I'm focusing on anything. Okay, you're good.
So Natara bought a very specific set of claws there for the Envian glitch. It's very important that you get the right amounts, which is why we were trying not to talk very much during that part, concentration and whatnot.
Those stacks are so important.
You also saw her pick up the headband and karate items. Those are also important in this game. Headband and karate both increase strength, and the way this game works attack-wise, kind of a multiplier system, where if for most characters, if you get 8 strength or agility, you get 1 multiplier of attack. So the more you can boost that stat, the more damage you'll do, and it's important for speedrun's sake that you pick these up here, because it's the only spot in the entire game that they're sold.
Yep, you definitely want them, and even the gear that we bought in Mysidia as well, we are going to be using that right up to the end of this run. So definitely important not to miss that. We're even going to use some of those claws that I purchased. It's going to be great. Listen, you can never have enough claws. Oh no, they found me. Yes, excellent.
Yeah, as we were saying earlier, this is definitely the back attack zone of the run. So you can expect to see probably a lot of them. You're probably going to see Natara cure up a lot. It's fine. It's a marathon. There's not a whole lot you can do about this outside of like super involved manipulation.
Oh my gosh, seriously? I was so surprised.
The thing is, by the end, you're not surprised when you get back attack. You're surprised when it's a regular attack.
You're like, wow, it's not a surprise or a back attack? What? Okay, so I'm taking a safety save here because safety save. We're not on a step route anymore. So yeah, we're going to do that.
I just want you to know that I behaved.
Oh, did you?
You handed me an almost perfect pun, and I sat on it.
I love puns.
Oh, you do? Okay, I'm
do.
sorry.
I can't speak for Rivers, but I love puns, so...
Okay, I won't behave in the future then.
Yes!
No, go ahead. I like Ronan. That's fine. I'm cool with it.
He's cool with the puns and the memes.
I endure a lot of them for this community.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, talk a little bit about these next couple of fights. Natara, you're going to see her go start some menuing right now. She's going to be pulling, obviously, some characters in right spots, some equipment, and she's also going to be going to this magic menu and using cures. And then, for whatever reason, she exits this menu with Boomerang 06 MP. Don't know why. Might come in handy. Who knows?
Yeah, it looks normal to me. That's how MP always looks.
Yeah, that's what the fireball looks like. So shouldn't the MP look like that too?
I mean, I guess I guess maybe that's just how it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah, must be.
So obviously the equips here. This is kind of a heavy equip section because you find that the headbands and karates. You have Yang equipment that he needs to get paralyzed properly in a couple, like 20 minutes or so, and So yeah, we're gonna roll into this fight with Bagan, who definitely is very loyal and was in no way brainwashed. I think it's
Oh
important to
no!
note.
I forgot to cure up Porum. Whatever, we're gonna have to do it without her.
Man, that's my favorite kind of Porum right there.
Whoa! Whoa! Get some Porum hating here.
So, okay. The reason that you see Cecil Backroad here is because the cover command is going to be very helpful at keeping our Tellah clean. At this point of the game, Tellah becomes our main damage dealer. And you're going to see Tellah with a 506 MP suddenly be able to cast Meteor, the spell that he only had 90 MP for and wouldn't normally be able to cast. Suddenly that's available to him.
Yep.
And
Don't know why.
What we did
Also-
in the... Go ahead.
Also, interesting story implications of him being able to cast this right now.
Right?
Yeah, you might say that, yeah.
Yeah,
But
Like,
but yeah, what Natara did in that menu was what we call the MP underflow glitch. If you hit the same frame, a spell that you can cast, or a spell, the spot that is blank, and then the same frame you hit up and move to a spell that you actually can't cast, it will act like you have the MP to cast the spell. Then all of a sudden you will roll the MP counter underflow and wind up with, I think it's like 50,000 MP or something. I forget how far up it goes, but
a lot, needless to say.
yeah, suddenly you can use Meteor, and this is a big strategy for the next 40 minutes that we have Tellah or so.
Yeah. Oh no! If you use Meteor, you'll die. Will I? Try me.
I heard third time's the charm on that one.
Yeah. Truth. Oh no! There's a turtle on the throne.
So we actually don't use Meteor in this Kainato fight only because it's kind of slow.
Really slow.
Whereas Lit 3 will roll out immediately, and it hits Kainato's weak point anyway. So Lit 3 is going to be, and this is another one of those lovely parts of the game where you are entirely reliant on Tellah. If Tellah wants to hit a good roll here, the fight will end instantaneously. If Tellah wants to be a jerk and prolong the fight, he'll do that too. It's really not up to you. It's kind of Tellah speedrun, and you're just living in it.
Yeah, truth. Oh, thank gosh. Guess what he did?
A good one.
He hit for enough damage.
Yay!
Kainato
I like
has
he owed you that
4,000
after
HP.
the start, you know?
Kainato has 4,000 HP, so that roll on its own would have been enough to kill him. Just to
Yeah.
put that in perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you're going to notice we've had a lot of dead party members, and in the last fight, I was purposely killing party members. We have officially hit the experience routing portion of this game. We want specific people dead in specific fights in order to make sure that Kane will reach level 19 by Valvalis. So, wish me luck. It doesn't always go to plan, but so far, so good.
Yeah, as we were talking earlier about those the multipliers, the attack multipliers raised from buying headbands and karates, we have carefully calculated this out so that Kane will get a multiplier at level 19 with the headband and karate. So basically what we're doing right now is just barely skirting him to that multiplier, and at that point he'll do enough damage to be a real difference maker against Valvalis when he comes back.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is one of the longest cutscenes in the game.
Oh, it's so long.
Porum and Pelham tragically going to turn themselves to stones before they can learn Quake, which is the real problem.
That is tragic. Palom actually learns Quake really early.
This is something that you would know from a randomizer, yeah. It's something that you would probably never see in a real game unless you actually were invested in the twins, but yeah.
They're fine, don't worry.
They
I
go
do
on.
like the joke in chat that gets touted a lot here. Like, oh no, we've got too many party members.
Yeah, what shall we
Something
do?
bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, or someone's gonna get left behind. Chrono Trigger is one of the few games that does it in a let's not do something mean to someone. It's just you get to sit here by yourself for a little bit until more friends will join you. And you're like, that's still not nice, but considering how most of the games handle it, we'll take it.
Oh no, we need another party slot. Oh god, look who gets brainwashed today. Wow.
Yeah.
Who could have seen it coming?
Exactly. My gosh. So much of that. Oh my god. This section is awful because there's so much mashing.
And don't mash X, Natara.
Don't mash it. Yes. To explain that, you can mash through these text boxes with virtually any button on the Super Nintendo controller. However, X is also your menu button, and in the cutscene coming up with the airships, if you mash X, there is a non-small percentile chance that you will soft lock. So mashing with any other button is fine. Just do not do it with your menu button. Just don't.
Yeah. Generally not what you want to do when you're trying to finish the game. Soft lock.
Yeah, it's very bad. Yeah, rumor has it soft locking is bad. Don't know if I can confirm it myself, but I've never soft locked in any game that I speedrun, ever. Not even today. Like
No
3
chance.
hours ago.
So plot-wise, at this point, basically we have freed Sid the engineer from his prison cell.
He's
And,
very important to this run. He's going to do a lot for us.
And because of that, he has the airship, and he kind of, for the first time in the game, you actually have access to kind of do some world exploring. Unfortunately, right when you get this access, Kane kind of shows up in this airship and is like, "Hey, by the way, we got Rosa. You want to do us a favor?" And this is kind of how the rest of this plot goes, where we're going to be asked to get the Earth Crystal from Dark Elf in exchange for Rosa's life.
Yeah, because so far they have 3 of the 4 crystals, and so they're like, well, you can give us the last one. And we're like, excuse me? And they're like, how much do you love Rosa? And we're like, excellent question. The answer is a lot.
It should be noted that Rosa's worth saving, and
Agreed.
Is a better character than Cecil, so, I mean, she should have been the main character.
Yeah. Also, the ship is called the Enterprise, just in case anyone wanted to know. Okay, let's do it. Let's see if we can do this.
Come on, hit it.
Oh, I'm already... Okay, we got this. Oh, no, I didn't. Close enough.
Ooh, just
So
short.
close. So close. I actually learned the line for that today. Because previously I didn't actually know where to turn to get that. So what I was aiming for is not speedrun relevant at all, but just looks really heckin' cool. Where it's what we call the swag landing, where you just immediately land right in that one square spot. And it's quite difficult because navigating is tough. But the fact I navigated just a tiny bit over and got it right away after that, also fairly good. You can wiggle around a lot, I find, just trying to land in the correct spot there.
Oh, hey, it's Edward.
Oh, hey, what up? It's been so long since we saw you. So yeah, it's so far, everyone who has fallen off that ship we were on earlier has been okay. We found Yang. Yang's cool. And now we found Edward, and he's still not doing so good, but he's alive. Hopefully Rydia's fine, but at least we know 2 of 3 are good. Okay.
That's right, and he gives us this twin harp, which will kind of double play his music wherever. I guess Edward heard that the Dark Elf hates music.
Yeah.
I think the Dark Elf is a big indie fan, personally. I think he just can't stand mainstream stuff.
Seems likely.
Yep.
Okay, we're just doing a quick save there, just for super safety. Not that I expect problems on this walk, but when in doubt, be a little safe.
So the gimmick of this next dungeon is that basically every character with something metal on is paralyzed. It's kind of like a magnetic field situation. And we only have one character that doesn't have anything metal on at this moment, and that's Sid. So basically, we need him to stay alive, or the run dies. And it's not. I would say it's likely that this happens, but it can get kind of unlucky and tedious at times.
Also, that forest is terrifying because if I accidentally capture a yellow chocobo, guess who has to redo the yellow chocobo? I have to, once again, make sure it leaves the screen on the right time.
There is actually manipulation that you can read off those frogs to try to figure out where the black chocobo is going to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't work every time, but like that kind of goes to show you just how advanced step routing and reading of the NPCs is in this game.
Yeah, I tend to find if I head for the top right corner, there's usually something then. I tried to get a little cute. There was one that came near me, but I wasn't punished this time, so we'll take it. Also, something that might have been missed. I went into my menu and I used an ether on Tellah before we left Toroya. The reason for that is when we are in an MP underflow state, that character can only use magic in battle. They actually cannot use any magic on the overworld. So I had to take him out of an NP underflow status by giving him an ether to allow me to exit out. So, but don't worry, that's not the last time you're going to see our beautiful MP underflow.
Yeah, she needed to do this to cast the Exo spell to get out of there. It is slightly faster than walking out, and also for step count purposes, of course, you want to keep what you've been doing. So that was important. Natara now like halfway through this cave taking a safety save.
Listen, Dark Elf was really rude to me today. I'm a little scared. Dark Elf generally is a good fight, but he was very rude, so I'm just being extra safe.
How much given some of the bad luck you've had so far on this run?
Well, yes, exactly.
It's merited.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my fault, though. That's not her fault.
Yeah, I'm still blaming you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I take the blame. So, Natara, how much are you missing the Randos fast run right now?
A lot, but also not a lot, because it's amazing how quickly you just kind of get used to this walking again. Honestly, the encounters are more annoying than the slow walking. I won't lie. Because you can make the encounters toggleable in the randomizer. So.
Oh.
We did it. Go team.
Hate to see it.
No, we're fine.
Right before the door.
Hey, it wasn't a bad back attack. We were good.
So way earlier in the speedrun, when we got rid of Kane at mist and we did all that menuing, one thing we did was we took Kane's iron glove off. That's going to be important here because we're going to put that right on Sid.
Yes, we are.
And we're going to use that, the kind of metallic property that we talked about earlier, so that Sid will automatically perish here. And that way the entire party perishes right away. It gets rid of this long cutscene with a lot of text and a lot of
You ruined my
talking.
meme. You ruined my meme.
That's right.
He's like, that's right, I did.
How's Natara supposed to pretend that, like, something went bad?
Oh no, I died. Yeah, no, we, like Rivers says, text is bad. Text is the enemy in speedrunning. So we want to mash as fast as possible, and we want to do everything that we can to avoid text. So, yeah. Dark Elf, that fight actually goes on for quite a while if you're not careful. So, insta-death, beautiful. Also, which song do you think it's going to be? Type it in chat. I'm so sorry. There's so many randomizer memes.
You're not sorry. You're not sorry.
I'm not sorry
bit.
at all. No, not even a little. I'm not even a little bit. So yeah. Dark Elf really hates this music, and since we were given the twin harp, which synchronizes any music that Edward plays on the other side, and so the magnetic field disappears. So we are free to move and not be paralyzed anymore.
That's right. He hates music that much, and what he also hates is this legend sword that Cecil has.
So much.
The Dark Elf has this quality where he is extra weak to holy. So even though Cecil at this point is so underleveled, he doesn't do a whole lot of damage to most enemies. In this one particular fight, he does a lot of damage.
Speaking of doing a lot of damage. Bye, Sid. Sid is now doing his most important job.
He's resting. He's had a long day.
He has. He's had a very
He was
long
in prison. He wants you to paint him like one of his French girls. Like, I mean,
Yep.
It's been happening, man. We got a piggy Cecil again.
Yeah.
Another piggy pally.
He's back.
My luck tends to run that way, but exactly one of my practice runs, Tellah got piggied. And I was like, no! That was the one today, which went very wrong.
So we're going to use the weak spell of the Dark Elf, which automatically takes it to the single-digit HP for an easy kill. We don't know if this was actually intended as an oversight. Like, no developers ever talked about this publicly. But when the Dark Elf changes from the Dark Elf to the Dark Dragon, it also loses the boss bit, which is, as we talked about earlier, something that keeps all those status spells from actually hitting you. In this case, you actually can't hit him, and it's so accepted as part of the game that even glitchless Japanese runners use that week. So finishes off Dark Elf in pretty much one hit from there.
Yeah, it's pretty excellent. Also, really important strat there, did not walk out without the Earth Crystal.
I heard it saves time.
I heard it saves time. Just about anyone who speedruns this category or any Final Fantasy IV category that goes in there on a regular basis has one time or another walked out without that Earth Crystal. Because there's nothing that stops you. Where is... hello, friend. There we go. So we're picking up another Black Chocobo because they're the fastest way home, right?
Well, no, not at all, actually. But what they do happen to do is line up as part of a glitch, and it's very important that Atara parks that Chocobo at that specific location so that she can get through the glitch.
Yeah, and no CW means no credits warp. So it's a very similar setup, but it is a completely different category, which is a lot safer, actually. So we're not going to be warping to any credits. We will be fighting the final boss. That is my promise to all of you.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be like a knockout, drag-out battle.
Yep, but it's going to be so cool. Because we're going to rock it. I love it when Cecil's a pig.
Yeah,
like
this looks
really,
great
because you get all these serious cutscenes with just a pig, and I never do this. Yeah,
and he's an adorable pig too. That's an important part of this.
Yeah, I never do this part on purpose, but yeah, it's pretty great. So since I have to come, I'm gonna come in here to save, anyways. But so we're gonna do some quick healing while I'm here, because speaking of those back attacks, there's a whole bunch of them in this place coming up. So, and yes, credit warp is different than 64 floor glitch. So in the credits warp, we do the similar setup and we will warp right to the credits. And the game sometimes just says, no, you can't. And also delete your saves while it's at it. This category is, again, similar setup, but using different items to warp to, well, I won't spoil the fun, but we're going to do some magic.
Why is he talking to that pig on that airship?
Listen, pigs are cool.
Atara, remember to back row.
I don't know why that would be important. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow.
So,
already
yeah,
going so well.
what a great dungeon we've created here, folks. Attacks on every screen, and they can all potentially back attacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what Atara's going to do next is she's going to go pick up a trap chest. As I said earlier in this run, there's very few chests we got over to get. One of them is this trap chest here with the flame dog that has a fire sword in it.
Yeah.
And the reason it was important that Cecil be back row is because he's going to be taking a lot of the damage here for our boy Tellah, as Tellah finishes off the flame dog. So if he's in the back row, he takes 50% less damage.
Absolutely. And slimes, no means no. Please leave me alone. These slimes are persistent. They're like, no, we're friends now. We hang out together forever. And I'm like, no can do. No, we're not renaming. That's too much out of the way. Though I love all of you. Okay, let's see how this goes. Oops.
I like how he just like when he like flings over in front of Tellah, he does his little like getting hit animation. It's like he's partying.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Hurrah! We did it. Go team. Actually.
So one ice 2 is all it took. To kind of elaborate more on why the fire sword's so important. Not only is it the best sword that we can get at this point in the game, not only is it going to be Kane's best weapon for taking care of a lot of things, it's also something that Golbez is extra weak to, and so. Just that little portion alone, you can save a lot of time just in winning that one fight. So even though it is a little bit of a jaunt to go with that fire sword and it is a fight, it's still speedrun important.
Absolutely. And you may have noticed I did some fiddling around in the menu. I set up a half duplication glitch so I can turn that one fire sword into 2. So we don't have to pick who's going to get that sword. We can use it with both people who can possibly use it. So that is great. Yes, there is an alarm. It should be done by now. Wow. What is happening here? Please stop.
Please cure.
Well, I'm going to. As soon as they let me run. Oh gosh, please stop. This place is scary.
And see, if you want to imagine like the stress of doing PB attempts in this category, imagine coming here, but Cecil has less armor.
Uh-huh.
And also those back attacks, just because of the way it works, you're actually in the front row in the back attack. So now you're taking front row damage with a character with no armor on. And yeah, you can wipe here very easily on a PB attempt.
There's a reason I saved at the beginning, and there is a save before the bosses, but that doesn't help me for the walkthrough at all. So yeah, there's times I'm going to go into the menu, as you've seen, and cure, because curing takes way less time than dying and having to redo this whole place.
Tara, somebody in the chat is talking about Ultros. Do you know anything about Ultros?
Hey, excuse me, only the best octopus to exist ever. Also, to break all your brains, have you noticed that Octomom looks like a cross between Ultros and Chupon? Just some food for thought.
I don't think I can commentate anymore. My mind's blown.
He's like, gotta go.
I'm gonna need a moment.
Yeah. It was a sad day when I realized that. I was like, excuse me? Yes, Ultros is octopus royalty. Okay, so we're gonna do some things here, getting ready for the next fight. Why did I do that? That was silly. That's fine.
Well, you were in safety mode, so.
Yeah, exactly. You get in safety mode and then you start curing at times when you actually do not need to cure. Okay, did that, okay. Okay, so we're just gonna quick complete that dupe. I'm gonna put that dancing dagger back on, because dancing daggers are cool.
That's right. So because we did a half dupe in that fight, Natara now has access to 2 fire swords instead of 1. Cecil will get the second one, and as I said earlier, it's going to be important for some fun Golbez times. These are the Mega Sisters. Casually, they are a really rough fight here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have anything that can get around the Middle Sisters wall, so you have a lot of like, how do I deal with this? Is he going to have to go back row, or what are you going to do here? What happens in the speedrun is you cast Meteor.
Yeah. Hey, what up? Oh no, but what happens if we cast Meteor? This old man. It'll be terrible.
We'll die, Tellah.
We'll die.
No,
Yeah,
I keep
it's
telling
so
you guys,
bad.
third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. Yeah, exactly.
Tellah-ing us.
Oh, you're so funny.
I walked
told
into
not
that
to
one.
behave.
I can't even be mad about that when I walked into it.
I was specifically told not to behave.
Yeah, you were. Truth.
He was like, I take no responsibility at all for
Exactly.
that. So yeah, it turns out Meteor is a really powerful spell, and there go
Yep.
those sisters. Hey, I wonder if we'll see Meteor again in the next like 2 minutes.
Probably. Seems likely. We've already used it, what? Like twice in this run?
Yep.
We've only been here for like a little over an hour and a half.
It's the epic battle between Golbez and Pig.
Yeah, it's a very important battle.
Oh no, but Pig was pushed aside.
No.
So a fun trivia fact for this fight, you see the spells that Tellah is casting don't really do a lot of damage. This Golbez sprite actually has a lot of magic defense, but they made it quad weak to Meteor. Meteor is kind of his holy damage. So that's why even though you see a bunch of 3/2/4s and 200 rolls or whatever, Tellah still does 9/9/9/9 with Meteor.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And for those who missed it earlier, I am pausing on purpose because as long as I do it in the right sequences, the cutscene continues, but my in-game timer stops. So, hopefully that won't go poorly.
No, Tellah, don't.
No.
You used the spell
Tellah.
twice. Why would using it a third time hurt you?
Suddenly,
I
don't get it.
don't get it.
It's one of those things where you're like, we break the game a little, making the plot not make sense anymore. It's because he didn't have a rest. He just cast one, and then he cast the second one. That's just going too far.
Yeah, he needed his meds first.
To him.
Mm-hmm. Also, no one in this game is ever truly dead unless you see them disappear.
That's right. They aren't gone until the blinking floor sprite happens.
Yeah. If you want me to think you're dead, you gotta prove it.
The tar needs to see the body, folks.
Yeah. Truth.
So tragically, this is the end of Tellah. Tellah had some good moments in the speed run, and he had some hilarious moments in the speed run.
He's dead to me, literally now.
Well, yeah, you buried him. Good job, Natara.
Yeah, that's what happens when you miss life twice in a row.
He's missing his life now.
Yeah,
he sure is.
Truth.
So at this point, we get control of our wayward son, Kane, here, who is not being brainwashed for this particular moment in time.
Nope, he's okay now.
And just in time to save Rosa from the bowling ball.
From the gruesome crushing death, which apparently was safer and better for the English censors than the blade which was there.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, there is a guillotine there. And they replace it with a gigantic bowling ball.
Yeah,
That's
so we
lovingly...
Yeah. We lovingly refer to the top of Zot, where we are now, as the bowling alley.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at the bowling alley cutscene.
Yeah.
Because Natara has been manipulating experience, Kane is going to join at level 19 at the very least. Mm-hmm. And he will be fully powered and ready to take on this next fight.
Yeah, this next fight goes it goes a lot differently if he joins at 18, but everything went right, so he should be at 19. He is! Hallelujah! We did it. Go team. Okay, we're going to do some quick swapping here.
You're going to see that Natara brings Sid and Yang back to life, but not heal them at all.
Nope. We don't want them to have health, we just want them to be awake. Also going to equip one of those fancy fire swords.
Yeah, because Valvus uses weak often, a lot of our strategy for this fight is going to be, hey Cecil, you've got that cover ability with what you got from being a paladin. Why don't you cover the entire party? And basically that's how it's going to go.
I accidentally moved some items down low, but we're fine. We're fine. Everything's good. So yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, I think that's how I want that. It's open.
You put Cecil in the middle?
Yeah.
You want Kane in the middle?
No, okay. I've always done him in the middle, but cool. Away we go. Let's do it. Yeah, the slow menus are definitely disorienting after Free Enterprise. Okay, this is one of the hardest fights of the run, so let's do it.
So the middle slot character gets bonuses to their accuracy, meaning usually they get a lot of extra power, which is kind of the reason why you want Kane in the middle here. He's going to be our main damage dealer. And yeah, you see the Cure 2 on Cecil, so he's going to be taking care of a lot of healing for himself, as well as keeping the party up via cover. And the rest of this fight's all about jumping with Kane to get Valvos out of her spin form, because when she is in her spin form, at this point in the game, you do not have the levels to be able to properly take her on. You will miss most of your attacks. Her hit evasion goes way, 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 way up. And so kind of the party line here is slow, with Rosa jumping with Kane and attacks with everybody else.
I love it when you do the dancing dagger on
yeah,
on Val.
The little sprite just gets stuck there for a little bit.
Yeah, it just sticks there. You're just like, okay, cool. Oh, that's bad. We're gonna quickly go out of order there. Okay, good.
That was a very fortunate target by Val there.
Yes, it was. That was about to get really scary.
Cecil being weak is the worst thing to happen in this fight because all of a sudden everything is kind of off kilter.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Natara was able to get around that a little bit, and things are looking pretty okay right now.
Yeah.
They're not like in tip-top shape.
They're vaguely
but,
off the rails, but not in a scary way.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They're not off the rails enough.
Yeah, exactly. Kane, jump.
So the super duper advanced strat for this fight actually uses a ton of ATV manipulation, so that you're kind of always inputting inputs as somebody else is doing something, and it's when you see it done right, it's probably the most beautiful fight in the run.
Yeah, it's really cool. Can confirm.
This fight a little bit less tight, but you know it happens. It's a marathon.
I also do my Val with Cecil in the middle, so the timings were off.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I went with you, but then all my timings were wrong, and I was like, nope, my setup is set for that. Anyways, it's good. Yeah.
That's interesting. Where did you learn that from?
I don't know. I think it's Accident's Guide, or just something I yellowed myself and it worked, so away we went.
Sure.
There are many times which I change strats to make them a little easier for myself to do, and then they just work. No one quite sure why they work, but they work, so I just kind of go with them. It's magical. But yes, now we learn the ever-important exit spell, and we get those cutscene heals.
Cutscene heals.
Yeah. Who's Rydia? I'm joking. Rydia's fabulous. Sadly, Rydia has done most of her hard work already.
It's sad because Ordeals is my favorite in this game.
Yeah, she's my favorite as well, or one of my favorites. Plot-wise, she's my favorite. Usefulness-wise, Rosa's my favorite.
I have way too much influence on this. If I was not in the booth, Natara would be singing a different story.
Yeah, no, actually, it is different because I know when I play like the randomizer, I never want Rydia. Oh, someone else ditch, and she's gone. So, but I love her, but she's sadly not as practically useful. Now, at this point in the run, this is my last chance to check and make sure that my yellow Chocobo is okay. So if I did not get a good one earlier, this is when I was farm and make sure I have a correct one. However, everyone who was in the chat at the time, we all confirmed we've got a good Chocobo, so we're good to go.
Yeah, the only thing you can really do at this point is if it was wrong, just drop a safety save and then go back to it if it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
But we manipulated it, so we're pretty confident.
Yeah, I'm confident it's good. I have total and complete faith that it is great. And now we're dropping a key down a hole. And hopefully it'll go great. Yeah, did anyone look at the VOD? Someone check for me. I'm joking. It's good.
Yeah, the magma key in this version, I think in later ones it gets renamed to something a little bit more like rock themed or something. But yeah, Golbez is just hanging on to this for no reason, and then Kane has it. So hey, look at this, we're going underground. That was a big switch from the current plot.
Yeah, exactly. Yay, not a hook seed. Hurrah. Okay, now I am going to take a safety save here because once we go into the Underworld, that's it. We're kind of stuck there. So, we don't want to have that happen, and I walked right back in. Don't do that. You're done there. Done with that now.
You're not even going to check the shops? What if there's sirens?
Nope. Don't care. The hardest part about picking up this vanilla speedrun is literally when I go in the underground, I'm holding the down button or the left button ready to start moving, and then a cutscene grabs me. I'm like, what do you mean I don't have control here? Excuse me?
Yeah. So story-wise, at this point, you kind of walk into this battle between the dwarfs who have the tanks going on at the bottom, and the Red Wings led by Golbez with the airship, and you just kind of drive into this because it is a brilliant pilot, and yeah, you lose your airship.
Yeah. But we survived, so hurrah. We're down here in the first place because it turns out the 4 crystals we were hunting for earlier are not the only crystals. There's another 4 underground. So we need to get those, and whoever has all 8 crystals gains access to the moon. So we're trying to stop Golbez from going to the moon.
Yeah, at this point, the game doesn't really do a good job of explaining why that is.
Uh,
Anyway, we conveniently landed in front of this castle, so let's go.
Oh,
Let's
no,
go
hold
hang
on.
out there.
Check it. I have different instructions based on things I do. There we go. Cool. Everything is good. And now, the most important thing. Yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna take my headset off. I trust you. I'll be back soon.
Boy, that Natara is something else, huh, folks? Anyway, what's happening? What's happening here is that Natara is going to walk up and down stairs 63 times. You saw her fiddle around on her menu there, changing menu colors. This is also set up for the glitch that we're about to perform here. So Natara is tediously counting this out, and you know it's very hard to keep count of things like this when you've got a headset on. So obviously we lost her for a minute. Rel, do you have anything you guys want to plug while we're here?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So as a reminder, we're doing this as kind of a little bit of a promo. Our community spotlight usually has a vote going on, but we wanted to grab one of the runs that didn't make it into Frame Fatale and highlight it here today. So as a reminder, you should watch Frame Fatale. That's coming up this Sunday. It's going to be running from the 18th through the 22nd. It's got a great schedule. If you haven't seen it, you can go to gamesdonequick.com/Frame Fatale. And Natara herself has got a couple runs in that as well. So if you're enjoying this, you should tune in for that as well. And of course, just would like to quickly remind people that Hotfix is funded in part thanks to subscriptions and bits. Please consider subscribing to support future broadcasts. Other than that, we've got an episode of Sprint tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. And a lot of the VODs that have been missing on our YouTube are being uploaded the next couple days. So if you've been waiting on some of those to appear, you can check out our YouTube and they will be appearing. But it seems like Natara is still counting. I haven't been keeping track myself.
Oh, she'll be here for a while. Yeah, it's good. I love that Sprint show. That's a great show. So, at this point, how does one find a glitch like this? It's a good chat question. I wasn't really into the speedrun scene when this was coming out. You'd be better off talking to like Brossentia, myself, 86, Roth, guys like that who were kind of forging the initial run and then also all the improvements later on. But yeah, a lot of intricate work goes into playing something like this, and this is definitely a crazily optimized speedrun.
Boy, my legs are tired. I mean,
Had
what?
to get some quick cardio in.
Yeah, I did. Oh my gosh. That was a lot of stairs.
Don't forget your planks. Your planks.
What? Don't know what you're talking about. What could possibly go wrong? Now, why would you tell me that? I've been getting them. Ugh. I'm blaming you if it goes wrong. I wish it was Minecraft we were hearing in the background. Minecraft is fab. I don't think
who's
so.
Getting blamed? Who's getting blamed?
I don't know. Probably me.
I feel like you're just getting blamed for everything, Rivers. Like,
Yeah.
If anything goes wrong, it's just your fault.
Yeah.
That's how it usually is. So why would things change now?
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think I invited Rivers, please?
So
it's not for the commentary, it's just for scapegoat.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much constant scapegoat. So this Dolls fight, this is actually something that's very easy in a JP run. They have more items to deal with these guys. Here, it's a lot more complex, but the basic gist of it is that Natara wants to kill these blue dolls and orange dolls at a similar rate. If at any time only one type of doll is alive, they will turn into the gigantic Calcabrina doll, which we lovingly refer to as Bic Doll, after
It's bad.
Big Fong Balls, our community member who got that doll a lot.
Yeah, it's
So,
bad.
It does a lot more damage. It's pretty fierce. The front row dolls have 300 HP, right? And the back row doll has 1,000 each. So the blue dolls have 1,000, I should say. So you're kind of trying to spread the damage out equally with Kane's jumps, Cecil Dancing Dagger, and Yang kicks. The Yang kicks kind of reduce the variance a little bit in this fight. He's by no means guaranteed to wipe out anybody, but he does help a lot this way. And because the dolls counter any attack that you do directly with a punch of their own, it's really unlikely that he's going to be helping out very much just by punching.
That got really scary for a second.
It looks scary to me now still.
Yeah, don't worry, it's good. We're gonna do this here.
Wow, you're saving time with that, with Yang dead.
Yeah, really. Wow.
So you may be wondering why Natara muted herself. Talk a little bit about that in a couple minutes, but that is a thing that she did on purpose. That is an actual speedrun thing.
Yes, it is. Okay, we're gonna... Okay. We're just playing this a little super extra careful because we don't have time for Big Doll. Like,
Yeah.
nobody has time for Big Doll.
Nobody wants Big Doll in their lives if they can avoid it.
Yeah, we're, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do this just for... Since we're being safe, let's be a little extra safe here, and okay. Okay, this. Oh. Okay. Ah, sweet relief.
Good job. It's a fight you gotta guide your way through sometimes.
Yeah, if it goes off the rails, you gotta really kind of monitor the HP, because again, you don't want one singular doll. Anyways, I'm gonna focus up for another moment here.
Yeah, I'll give you this kind of brief moment of silence for this jump.
Thank you. Nope. This one.
Oh dear.
It'll be fine, just not as fast.
So, the chat kind of jumped on this already, but yeah, the reason that we do we do this mute stuff is that Cecil can equipment manage around here. Hold gas does not work because of the status priority system that we had used earlier on Milon Z with poison versus piggy, and mute is also something that overtakes that hold status. Now, typically in this fight, you're able to get that first cane jump off. Natara didn't get it, but
yeah,
so
there's
it's a
different
little bit
timings
slower.
when a party member's dead. So,
Yeah. It's true.
yeah, you have to do something a little different, and I rarely have a dead party member, so it's a little different here. That's fine. There are my claws.
So you're seeing a lot of this inventory management. This is all actually very important to the run right now. We're trying to place items in the right spots to go through the glitch correctly. This isn't just Natara futzing around. This is serious stuff.
Yeah. The futzing around is a lot of fun too, but no, this is some serious business.
Oh my gosh, it's Mist Dragon.
Oh no! How completely unexpected,
Where could Mist Dragon have come from?
right?
You can move now.
Who could it be?
That was rude.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Whew. Give me some heart murmurs here.
Yeah,
That
we're
one was scary.
this whole run is fast and loose. It's great. A lot of things that can go wrong are going wrong, but we're getting the backups. We're keeping everyone alive. Everything is good.
So the reason we get that fire sword is when Kane actually gets his first turn and the ATB is correct, unlike what Natara did with that unfortunate party member wipe in the last fight. You actually get the jump off, and he doesn't die. And you can go so fast in that fight that you can actually skip Rydia even joining via cutscene. Like she
Yep.
never actually appears on screen.
We don't even get text saying that, like, indicating that she could join. It's just like, oh, Golbez is dead way too fast. It looks so clean.
But we got to see Rydia, so.
We did, and she actually didn't help at all. But she was cool and there, so that was great.
We did it just for you. For you.
Also, we're going to
Your favorite
showcase.
character. Enjoy.
Yeah, we're going to showcase a glitch here, which it's the only glitch that I knew of as a child.
Real.
I used to use this in my casual playthrough.
That's right. Because of developer oversight, this room here has the darkness crystal in it. The darkness crystal is in the sealed cave normally. You're not supposed to be able to just get it right here. And because they map the same rooms, the same crystal room here, you actually just find the darkness crystal. Oh, what's happening now, Natara? What did you do?
I don't know. It's a mystery to me.
Why did you break the game, Natara?
Breaking the game is fun, so welcome to the 64 floor glitch, where everything is broken. Yay! And by broken, we mean we're doing very specific things at specific times. Also, hey, we're now in the sealed cave. That's
oh no!
Cool.
I wonder if anybody will betray us today.
I know. And hey, Yang has decided to take up cosplay and is no longer a karate person, but is now a ninja. How cool is that? Oh no!
I think it's good. That's a good look. That's a good look for him.
Yeah,
we
it's a
lost
really
the
good
dark
look.
crystal.
Oh no, but we just got it. We worked so hard.
It took a lot of time. I don't know if we'll be able to get a new one.
No. Nah, it's not worth it. You know what? We'll find a way. We'll figure it out. So just
the technical explanation for this glitch is actually that when we walk those 60 stairs or whatever, 63 stairs, the floor counter continued to increment up. And because the game itself can't handle more than 64 floors, what happened is we underflowed, and we're now like floor -1 and -2 and so on and so on. And we've carefully arranged all these items and all these chocobos and whatnot to find our way through this glitch.
And now
we're on the moon.
Yeah, now we're on the moon. Hey, what up?
Yeah, there's a lot of technical stuff that happened there that's messing with memory addresses, and it's just.
Yeah, we put items in very specific spots to form the X, Y, and Z coordinates of where we're warping around here.
Listen, I support Yang's name change. I think he needs a new look. I think it's time.
Yep.
You know, he got pushed off a boat. He thought a lot about his life, and he changed some things, and that's okay.
Yeah, we support that.
I
feel like chat was leaning more towards push as well, so.
Yeah, they definitely were, because that's what happened. Oops. Put you up there.
So even this little inventory selection here that Natara's doing is kind of important.
And by kind of, we mean incredibly super important. Okay. So yeah, I have very specific instructions of go in this scene, do this screen, do this thing, and it can get really scary really, really fast if you mess anything up. So.
Yep. I remember during Crystals for Life, Essentia was doing a run of this, and things went off the rails at this point, and she called her brother because he knew the glitch really well. It's like, okay, how do I fix this?
My practice run that I did before this, I got a soft lock I'd never gotten before, and I literally hit up the Discord being like, help, what did I break? And we figured it out. And so I was able to recover the run and finish it.
Yeah, to answer a chat question, Edge is never in the party. The game itself has just tile triggers that pop out NPC sprites. It has nothing to do with who's in the party. And you can actually, if you break the game in similar ways, you can create scenarios where you go to a place with like 4 Tellahs and one Tellah will die. Like it's really just not important to the actual party order, what happens in the cutscenes.
Okay. Welcome to the safety room. This is the save room. Wow, my time is... Actually, no, we don't want to save there. Okay, we're doing a safety save here. This is in case things go off the rail, but we need to do a quick check here. Okay. Ooh, there's a lot of bacon around here. A lot of bacon around here. Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you talk through this, and then once we're done, we'll explain what's happening.
Yeah, we have some time to chill, so hang out with us while I'm gonna check my gold at the same time. So I am currently checking my time, my gold numbers, making sure everything is good. Calculate. Excellent. My money is good. There is technically a shop in this room. Working good. So you know what? We're gonna do a thing. We're gonna YOLO it once. Exactly once. Let's see what happens. See if we get lucky. Okay, can't move. Let's warp. Okay, good. Okay.
That's a lovely screen.
This is a really lovely screen.
Isn't it beautiful?
The rule is if you can walk out or warp out, you're good. But sometimes you get stuck. And this appears to be stuck. So that's okay. We're gonna play it the correct way. Sometimes you YOLO it and you're good. But we saved on purpose. So what we're waiting for is a very specific time. If we walk at the wrong time, we just get stuck.
We went out of we went out of bounds, clearly, obviously here. But the one thing that's keeping us from finishing the game right now is that we're trying to get our in-game timer to the exact second.
Yeah.
And there are certain timer values that are safe, and there are certain timer values that are not safe.
Yeah.
And the one in Tarland in that second room, that was a not safe value.
Yeah, and that was a time not safe value, because there's 3 rooms I have to bypass. One is, how long did I sit in the load, was I in the load screen for? The second one is, we're going to save again just to get it, because our time is closer in case that load screen has changed. Okay, we're just going to start here, because I know exactly how many seconds I need to be. So our money is good, and I'm making sure my time is good. So I don't actually need to be in this menu. We're just going to sit here, because I know at what second I can start walking, because there's a huge patch of safe. Okay. Okay, good. Casting warp is good. And we're through.
That's right. So yeah, that in-game timer is the most important thing, and you can see now why Natara spent so much time pausing in those cutscenes, because that gives you some extra time, some leeway. And when you're doing PB attempts, you have like a very strict schedule of when you're pausing, when you're not.
Yeah, because when you're doing PB attempts, you tend to know where you fall in the scale. So, like, if I knew I consistently fall in that scale, I would have paused less. So, but, we just test it out. We've got our timer and everything is good. We're gonna exit out.
I did like that you had the, kind of triumphant Chocobo music playing while we were sitting at that screen waiting.
Right?
So, chat. It's time for our favorite game. And that is to guess just how much Sid's Meteor will do here. It's got to be between 1600 and 2100 damage. Sid has very low magic stats, but he's trying so hard.
He's trying so hard. So yeah, we're supposed to have Fusia in that spot, but as a consequence of the glitch, we have Sid instead. And yeah, it actually uses Sid's magic stat. So not in this sequence, but the next fight with Zeromus here. Yeah, he's going to try and cast a Meteo. Get your guesses in the chat. It is Price is Right rules, so it is as close as you can get to the correct value without going over. My guess is always 1842.
And my guess is 1600, because I do not trust Sid.
No, it's...
So to go over a little bit more about why the Sid is here, it has to do with Shadow Party slots, and because Fusoyo is supposed to be in the Shadow Party slot, and now we have him in our party, the game just is like, well, who's the next available guy? I guess it's Sid. All right, let's go Sid.
You're like, woo, got Sid. We did it, everyone. We've defeated the final boss. Yang is super excited about that. 'Cause that's
Yeah,
definitely
awesome.
still Yang.
I missed the number. What was it?
It's not the number yet.
Oh,
And
okay.
Evan.
Yeah.
I'm taking down the guesses so I can see if anybody got it.
Ooh.
Being fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, unfortunately the boss fake died. He was like, no, you can't defeat me. I'm too powerful.
Yeah, whenever somebody starts breakdancing on the floor like that, it's never good news.
Never.
That's what we learned from this game.
You were 1846, and Rivers is 1600.
Yeah, I was 1842.
42, sorry.
Yep. But no, yep. Okay, here comes. I won't say it on stream. I'll let Rivers say it so I'm not ahead.
All right, so Golbez Medio. 9691 weakling, weak stuff from Golbez today. And Sid delivering 1924.
Wow, that value though.
So the closest without going over is our chat winner of the Medio game.
I see a 1921 from Alicel.
Oh no, the Medio has been turned on us. Whatever shall we do?
We'll just paint Sid like a beautiful French girl.
Yep, that's what we do. Okay, everyone, get ready. It is time to prepare. Our friends have sacrificed their lives. See. Other friends have returned, ready to wish us luck. And
Yang is in many different spots at the same time.
Yeah, Yang is a very busy person here. And let's see if we can handle this final of final bosses with the best music ever.
Yeah, Big Bang. That's as Chad's pointing out, one of the best boss attacks ever.
Yeah.
Very tough fight to strategize around, Tara.
Big Bang is really hurtful, and we are really brutally underleveled. So, okay. I'm currently doing one of the best time-saving tricks and strategies of this run.
That's right. So we discovered maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and this was something that I discovered by comparing PBs with our boy F. Coughlin, who's been in the chat today, that if you are actually running in this cutscene, you save 12 seconds just on reducing lag, because this background, the sound and all that creates so much lag that by keeping your animation of the teardrops off the screen, because when the Tara actually isn't running, like you see the little sweat or whatever, keeping that off the screen actually saves you 12 seconds.
Yeah, I stopped running for a second to demonstrate what it looks like, but yeah. Also, how are we going to make it through this fight? Fusuya has 1900 HP. If we can nerf the damage of those big bangs, we can actually survive the hits. So we'll be putting certain timed attacks on Zeromus, which will greatly lessen the damage of those big bangs. It's not going to be super fast, but we can definitely survive this. Cecil might even survive if we successfully nuke all of the big bangs. So here's hoping I have better luck in this fight than I've had in the previous ones. Okay, we had 2 foos. I think that's a sign of good luck here. Get that crystal ready. And time.
GG.
Thank you.
What do you think, chat? Pretty hard fight, huh?
Yeah. We struggled a lot. So one of the big things that I did was I rearranged Fusuya's magic, and in all the warping, his magic got really corrupted, and some eagle-eyed viewers commented in chat about an Uptco spell, being like, what is that? So it's actually, the name is a combination of a couple of different abilities, like the end of one and the beginning of another, but the actual thing it did is a reaction command, which is, I'm going to blow myself up to blow you up. And for what I feel is very obvious reasons, Zeromus has no protection against that. So
Yeah.
we did it. Go team.
That is a enemy spell. The enemy, I think, is the grenade that has this one, and it is a counter, but only works on when you cast lightning on it. And for whatever reason, this is one of the enemy skills, and the way the inventory glitching worked out is that Natara got it and put it in her inventory, and was like, "No, I can cast this spell."
Yep.
And yeah, Zeromus was not designed. Zeromus was designed to have a lot of things, but you weren't really supposed to have enemy attacks in your inventory ever, so he was not designed around that.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, final time was 2:13:55, and for the problems we had, especially at the end there, that is a really great time here. I gave Raelo a 2:30 estimate because of how my practices had been going. So 2:20 was actually much more likely, but we did great.
We also had a Rivers here to make things go poorly, so
Exactly.
I went
Thanks,
with the
Rivers.
230 estimate.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, okay.
I'll try harder next time, Natara. I know I didn't bring my A game of jinxing, but next time.
Next
I
time,
promise.
exactly. So that was the Final Fantasy IV any percent no credits warp run. There is another consistent full game category, which is the no 64 run, referring to no 64 door glitch, which is what you just saw performed. So it is still glitchy, but there's no warping around places. You actually have to walk through all of the places and fight all of the mandatory bosses. So the strategy works a little differently, even in the parts of this run that you saw, which are still also there. So a lot of really fun categories to learn. One that we tend to race still even is the Paladin percent category. Is a really good learner category where you just race up to the point where Cecil becomes a paladin, and it's just approximately an hour long, a bit under, a bit over, depending on how much you've practiced and how fast you go. But it is really fun. We have a really great community, and I definitely recommend coming out and joining us if you thought that run was interesting and you want to learn. So ff4.accident, AEXODEN.com is where you can find the resources for running this, and I believe we have a link to post in chat for the Discord as well. Rail's gonna get us there.
Yeah, I got them both.
I have faith in you.
Excellent. Yeah. Thanks so much, GDQ, for letting us take the old girl out for a spin again.
Yeah.
It's been a while since FF4 got some real vanilla exposure, but yeah, it's nice to see it, and obviously Natara did great.
Yeah, and it's a super fun category to. I spent this weekend de-rusting, and it was great. It reminded me how much I both love this game and this category. So yeah, definitely come out. Come play some games with us. It's a super amount of fun. And yeah, thank you so much to GDQ for inviting us to showcase this off. They definitely have more events coming up, and frequently are showcasing different communities and runners. So definitely keep supporting them and checking them out.
More events, you say?
Yes, I do.
What?
Well,
What?
if you guys enjoyed this, you should tune in to Frame Fatale that's starting this Sunday, which is going to be running the 18th through the 22nd, and our good friend here, Natara, is going to be participating in that as well.
I will.
Totally tune in for that.
I'm in 2 different races. I will be running racing Final Fantasy Legend 2 versus Skull Kitty, and I'll be racing Final Fantasy 7 PC any percent, which is similar but very different to this run, against Sakura Tsubasa. So if you're interested in either of those or any of the runs, there's so many good runners in that event. Definitely check out the Frame Fatales.
Yeah, it's going to be real great. You guys should watch it. And of course, as a reminder, we've got Sprint tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Disability Month submissions are open! Disability Month in chat. But with that, thank you, Natara and Rivers, for doing an awesome job. Is there any other shoutouts you want to do before we're going to send a raid over to Bahama X, who's doing free enterprise. So if you want more Final Fantasy IV, go cheer them on. But any final things? If not, we'll just say goodbye there.
Well, I want to shout out Rivers, who's done a lot of work with the routing for the different categories for this run, and just done so much work. And to thank him for coming out and helping commentate this run. It definitely helped, even with the bad luck.
Yeah, well, I try. Shoulders of Giants and whatnot. Please, everybody, stick around, check out Bahamut X. We made the free enterprise randomizer. I was one of the devs for this, so it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool game. He's practicing for a good tournament, so please check him out. Give him a follow.
All right, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with the sprint.